Hello and welcome to a new episode of Digging Deep in Oki A11 podcast. I'm your host, Luis. And today, as always, I'm with my partner and colleague, William Bohannon. William, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. I mean, it's been kind of a little wishy-washy with the weather, but, aside from that, doing good.
I think I've been calling you.
Luis? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. No, I was going to say, I think I'm when we're like out of the office, like I call you Bo, but when we're like working, I call you William. So I still need to decide.
I mean,
they're gonna pick William or Bo, man.
Go with the flow.
Anyway, I am doing pretty good. Getting ready for the holidays.
Oh yeah,
it's been great. Just a lot of stuff with the fam. Starting to get the gifts. I have to start, buying the gifts. So that's always stressful. I've done it always at the very end. And that's not good. That's not bueno. No bueno. We just had our Christmas party.
Yeah,
with Oki. It was fun. It was great. Thank you for that party to all the leadership, like Susan and Angie, Tika, Gerald, everybody that organizes that party. That was really great. That was fun. We had a good time. I had a good time.
I had a great time.
The magician was great.
hilarious.
That guy, every time when he did the whole cart thing out of his mouth. I feel like a little kid seeing like a little trick. Better than Cirque du Soleil.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. Okay. Cirque du Soleil is really good. I actually got the chance to go one in New York a long time ago, a couple years ago.
New York?
Yeah, it was a Cirque du Soleil. It was at the Madison Square Garden.
Huh.
Like Jackie Chan would say, Madison Square Garden. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, no, it was pretty fun. What do we have today, Bo? What you got for me in today's episode?
I figured today we would be talking about weather and how it can affect private lines and probably what that looks like. That would be my direction to go with it.
Okay. What's important?
I feel like there are quite a few things that could be important when it comes to the weather and excavating in general. Oklahoma being what it is, has weather all over the place. The other day it was 70 degrees, and then, this weekend it's looking like it's going to be sub-zero temperatures. So,
and that's really important that you bring it up because Oklahoma does have a really bipolar weather.
Yes.
It's not like the East, like for example, Ohio, Chicago, Boston, New York, any of those big cities or states that really go through a hard fall. And then winter. We're still in the fall.
Yeah.
It's officially in December, right? When we actually enter into
I believe
winter. It's November.
Yeah, November.
So we're technically now. So I probably failed that class already.
I think I did too.
So we're officially in winter.
Yes.
So
yes.
Well, winter in those states and cities are really hard. Really bad. I mean, they're already snowing. Low temperatures, high winds. When we get like a 10 mile per hour wind, 10 mile per hour wind, they are freaking. They're bad. I mean, I can't stand them.
Well, here in Oklahoma, it's very easy for those winds to go over 10 miles per hour. And like you were saying, other states get more seasons than we do. It kind of feels like we go from summer to winter. We don't really have a transitional period. I think this year was a pretty good indicator of a transitional period. But
I remember the beginning of the year, we got a couple of snow days starting the year because I remember my mom was here and it snowed pretty bad. And we were in the house for like at least, I want to say 2.5 days, almost 2 full days.
Yeah.
And we had the fire going. We actually made a snowman. And
that's fun.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens this year, but so far it's been pretty good. I mean, maybe at night it gets a little windier and then colder, but you were telling me that we might have a cold front?
Yeah, it looks like we could be getting some cold air this weekend. And I think something really important is like the last time we had a bad cold snap, and one of my neighbors in the neighborhood that I live in, their irrigation system did freeze and they broke their lines. And those are private lines, right? They're not the full utility lines.
Yeah, no, and today's topic is about, as you probably already got the hint. The
Put it together.
is about bad weather and when you're planning to dig. So
Right.
you still have to take the necessary steps, right? Not only call 811, which is always have to call 811 or contact 811 or whoever you want to do it. Even if you want to send a hog with a message to the center, do it. But you always have to contact. Okay,
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool if you can send like an actual hog and put like a letter, like, hey, send this message to contact 811 setting. Either way, you still have to contact 811, but when it comes to cold, very freezing temperatures,
right,
you have to not only keep it safe, but you have to take the different type of measures.
Right. You have to consider some different kinds of proactive safety.
Yeah, again, you have to wear really good. Well, I would say you have to wear clothes that keeps you warm first.
Absolutely.
Your gloves, boots that can keep you from sliding or tripping or whatever, because that can also and how many people like falls down and hits their head and it's like a big
a lot accident. I don't have the statistics for that,
but that's there's a number for that, right? For the year, like people falls.
Slips, trips,
and then just by walking. Now, if you're excavating, you don't only have to be careful when you dig, but also when you get into your work site.
Yeah, getting to the work site. I mean, any kind of transportation as well, and then equipment being potentially frozen over or anything like that.
Even more, like when we talk about like the first step of safe digging, preparing. That comes more and more now into hand. Like you have to really prepare now. Work the side now, even the 50 feet, walk it twice.
Right.
Make sure that you really know where you're walking on.
Frozen power lines have always been a big thing in Oklahoma. Tree limbs, frozen tree limbs.
And that happens in Texas too.
Yeah.
That all the power lines, they freeze, and then pretty much entire county is out of power.
Yeah. And I mean, things like environmental factors of that ice or snow, they could obscure your markings for your locates as well. And so making sure that those are still visible and delaying work if you need to, just based off of not being able to find those and keeping that safety measure in place.
Yeah, and a lot of the things that can happen throughout, let's say, because, like we were talking about being bipolar weather, you can start working on Monday and then we get a crazy snow over the weekend. Now, you have to keep an eye on what the local government reports say, because it could be a state of emergency.
Yeah, and if it's a state of emergency, then everything's going to be
the locators are supposed to locate your marks or remark are going to come to your site. So you have to really be aware of more so than usual when you're working under freezing temperatures. Oklahoma, probably you don't get a lot of snow, but you do get a lot of freezing.
A lot of ice.
And that just keeps you like, okay, you can be working and you can be digging, which maybe, and also, I guess, and obviously the soil is going to change. The soil's, what's it called? Give me some words.
When you get a frozen soil,
it's going to change.
Get more difficult to dig through because a lot of that moisture is freezing in the soil, and so it's going to be tougher to move through.
Now, when it comes to digging, the probabilities of breaking or cracking a pipe is going to be probably way higher than usual, because obviously those high temperatures, low temperatures. I keep saying high, but it's I mean, I'm talking about super extreme. Yeah, the extreme is probably one little hit, boom, hit it. Now, if you hit it, gotta keep doing what you're doing. Call 811, notify OK 111, facility operators that you hit that line. They do need to fix it, even if it's extreme weather. Sometimes, if it's an emergency, you still have to take care of that, even if it's a bad weather. Again, the schedules of projects, they vary, and then they probably do have projects that have to go through the whole calendar year, and they probably have to work, in days that are like really bad, but you still have to follow what the law says, right? Contact 811, report if there's a damage, report if it's an emergency, send a remark if you need to.
And I think that you've generated an interesting question for me, and that's how many excavators do go out onto job sites and actively dig during a weather event like that? Like freezing rain, or if there was ice overnight, anything like that. Because I know that a lot of locators may still have to go out and locate those lines. So hit us up if you're an excavator or a contractor, and do you like work when the weather's...
It's kind of like the opposite of working on extreme heat.
Right.
But I'm assuming, this is an assumption, right?
Right.
That a lot of the stuff that are happening throughout the winter is to fix something.
Yes.
More than actually
doing more of a project. It's going to be more of a repair
it. So it's probably more on an emergency basis, probably, that they're fixing, that they're actually digging and using any type of equipment. Now, we still have to bring up that big consider, and we're all trying to work together. Think about the locators are actually going from point A to point B to point Z to all these places to get those marks, because the winter also makes it difficult to, if it's snow.
If there's snow, if there's ice, if there's high winds.
The high winds, especially the high winds. And let's take off the snow, right? Let's take off the snow that it's not snowing every day here in Oklahoma, because it's almost like maybe once or twice during January and February. But it gets really cold.
It does. And the wind is always going to be a constant in Oklahoma. And so I think that... if you're cold, the locators are definitely going to be cold, because they're going to have to be out there in the field and doing those locates. So, planning those projects and being aware of what weather you're going to be working in.
And I'm also thinking that, sorry to interrupt, the locators also have their challenges while they locate throughout winter weather.
Absolutely.
It cannot just be easy because, they have to stick...
you got the flags.
But they also have to also find the tone, right? They have to try to find where those lines are, and they have to, I forgot how do you call that the little thing that they stick so they can start finding the...
I didn't get the name for that when I was on my ride.
And probably Noel Rojas, who is a great guy, a locator from Great Hawk, one of our great partners and member. He actually was here with me, teaching me, and I literally forgot the word of that. And it's an English word that I'm trying to remember. That's why I can't...
The probe, or...
I have the word in Spanish in my head, but I cannot say it. So that's what's keeping me from saying it. But either way, they're full equipment to actually get the tone and find those lines, and then they can mark it. They do have their challenges as well.
Of course.
When it comes with weather changes.
I can only imagine doing a line locate somewhere like... a parking lot after it's iced, and having to locate the lines walking on ice.
On ice,
right? Like, that would be rough.
Now, you did tell me before we started the podcast that you had a little bit of an anecdote regarding a bad weather situation in your neighborhood or your house?
Neighborhood.
So what happened?
One of the neighbors, this was a couple weeks back when we had that very cold snap, and their irrigation system froze and cracked and broke, and so there was a water flow out into the street from that. Luckily, they were able to go to the main source at their house and turn it off. But with something like that, because it is damaging property and potentially causing a threat to health because it would start icing in the street, what kind of ticket do you think that they should have gone with?
Well, that's an emergency. First, it's putting the risk not only of potential hazard, right?
Right.
Because it's water coming out and it can get frozen pretty quick. But it's also an emergency because it's putting your property at risk, right? You're running out of water. You need water. You need to be able to keep at least those the sink open so that the water drips.
Right.
So keep us from preventing freezing.
Those kinds of freezes,
So it is an emergency. Anything that puts your life, property, or health at risk is considered an emergency, even if it's a private line from your property. You do have to fix it, contact 811, and also contact the artillery operator so they know what's going on. But yeah, you still have to, like I said, keep an eye on a lot of elements that can be that can impact your work or whatever's happening.
Right.
Definitely when it comes to digging.
When it comes to excavation, or I would say even generalized safety, just being able to keep an eye on those environmental elements and staying ahead of that and planning.
It's almost like an extra layer of safety because you have to be safe not only by not hitting a line or hitting or a pipe or anything that is on the ground,
right?
But now you have to add the extra layer of yourself or keeping yourself warm and not falling,
right?
Not I don't know, maybe your hands get what's it called, like not hypothermia, but they can get really, really, really cold if you don't wear really good gloves.
Right.
Your face.
Talking about frostbite.
Frostbites. Yeah.
Frostbite. Yeah.
And that can happen. I mean, being out there for so many hours and you're trying to get a job done, trying to take a step back, keep yourself warm, get back to the work when it needs to.
Right.
If there's not that big of a rush, take your time, right?
Of course. And it's always a best practice, I think, to slow things down and not rush.
Yeah.
Rushing is definitely a key factor in accidents happening.
So. Just like my friend Axl Rose would say, just a little patience. You don't Guns N' Roses? No. Too old? Okay, well, Guns N' Roses has a song it's called Patience, so probably.
Okay. Well, now you have to.
That applies.
You have to share this with.
Yeah, that applies to whoever does digging. Like just a little patience. Take your time. Anything else when we talk about excavation during cold weather? Anything that we want to let our audience, people that do those jobs, we really appreciate that job that you do during the winter. We know it's really hard. We know it can be really difficult, but we just want to make sure that you guys keep yourself safe at all costs and your crew.
Absolutely.
Again, the pipes will get fixed. Those underground lines will get fixed, but when something happens to you guys, that's really hard sometimes to really,
I mean, your safety as an individual should come first.
Yeah, always.
Consider all the best practices and ways that you can keep yourself protected. I think just a couple other things to kind of touch on for those utilities is if they are exposed, making sure that they are supported and protected, right?
Yeah, especially, again, with the bad weather.
Yeah.
If you are able to find and discover, even if you're digging and you're not supposed to find, you just encounter one because you're digging in one specific area, protect it, support it, and keep an eye on it. Now, especially with the bad weather, you don't know if that's, or more likely to, because it's not covered. Yeah, get damaged. Yeah. Now, like you said, and obviously we need to see how those pipes change
the structure.
Yeah. It would be cool. There's probably a bunch of videos there, like shows like a 3D video how
that expansion and
contraction.
Yeah,
that would be probably cool. We'll probably have to ask one of our members that works at Oklahoma Gas or something like that to kind of show you or teach us like how that process is during the winter.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we just have to ask.
And then just being mindful around trenches because your opportunities of slipping in there will probably increase. So.
If you're working on trenches, because I know that when you're going to Texas, especially after you pass the casino.
The big casino down.
The big casino.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna name the other place that is passing Oklahoma, but instead of Oklahoma, but there is a. What's it called? I think they're doing a lot of repairs and they're fixing. They're doing I think they're expanding the roads, right?
Oh yeah.
They probably have. Probably have trenches. So they probably are having places where people can fall.
Yes.
So especially with bad weather, again, keep an eye on that.
Yeah, be weather aware and plan your projects accordingly. I think that with the way that our tickets lifespans are, you can get a pretty good range of those 14 calendar days based off of what weather reports and local weather reports are available. So,
and again, and if you have a really extended or you have a really, I would say, stretched out estimated completion date, like let's say you it's up to a year.
Oh yeah.
Make sure that you just keep your tickets updated.
Yeah.
You update your tickets. You still have that time because you still have plenty of time before that project needs to be done. So make sure that you keep updating as needed before before you finish your project. Once you finish, obviously, then that project is done.
Yep.
Anything else before we go? We'll have one more episode next week on Monday, potentially. Ooh. We will talk about what's coming up in 2026. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff. We're going to have the Expo 2026. We're going to have safety days. Safety days are going to be cool. We're going to have more Spanish.
Yes, more Spanish.
I say programming, Spanish shows. Not Spanish shows. Spanish webinars, presentations. We're going to also be joining the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be doing cool stuff with them as well.
Awesome.
So hopefully we can get the word out to that community here in the Oklahoma City area. And
that's really cool.
It'll be you and me, man.
That's really cool. Man, they're gonna get really tired of hearing me.
Yeah. Again, you might have to start speaking Spanish by the time we do that third or fourth safety day.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll
it can
see.
Be done. We got this.
But anyway, keep us in your phones, I guess, and your to-do list for next week to listen to us. We'll be having another episode just to close the year. And again, thank you very much for tuning in with us today. And we'll see you next time. Keep it safe.
Yeehaw.